Come. Come over to the dark side. Come, be a part of the Illuminati. Come, be a part. You may have to sacrifice your mama. You might have to sacrifice. Let me stop. Nah, seriously, man. Like, I'm gonna get to the point. Like, it's crazy how, like, whenever a black person, gets money, you know what I'm saying, some big time money, the black community will say that he's or she is part of the Illuminati. You know what I mean? Like, black people can't just be rich and successful on their own. Like, they had sacrifice their mother, their children, their friend, you know what I'm saying? They had to sell their soul to the devil and all the rest of that stuff and become the part of the Illuminati. This so-called secret society that is crazy that everybody knows, but it's a secret society. But yeah, it be bugging me out, man. At the end of the day, they'll call you the Illuminati because you're rich and successful. That, it's crazy. Like, you found a way out of the matrix. But they can't give you the glory for that. The black community won't give you the glory for that. That out of your peers, your family, you were the one that thought outside of the box. Nah, I gotta be something more to that. Nah, man, ain't nowhere in the world Langston thought outside of the box. Ain't nowhere in the world Mary or Shakita or Tony or anyone that thinks outside of the box. There's no way in the world that they thought that way. There's no way in the world that they're that intelligent. Nah, I gotta be something behind that. And it's not. That there are people out there that think outside of the box, that think outside of the norm, that think outside of the matrix. And for those people, they're called, in reality, they're called the indigo children. And there's nothing deep about it, man. It really isn't. It's not. It's just deep and weird to you that don't think that way. And it's crazy because the indigo children are the ones that think outside of the box, outside of the matrix, think that you're weird. Why? Because you don't have a mind of your own. I remember when I was in high school, man, I'll never forget it. I didn't have a mind of my own. I did what everybody else did. Back in the days, it was starter jackets, the fashion, what was trending at that point in time. It was starter jackets. I had the LA Raiders reversible, you know what I'm saying, starter jacket. So on one side of it, it was all black with the emblem or the logo or whatever on the front of the jacket, on the chest part of the jacket. And then when you turn it outside in, it was all gray with the emblem right here. And then I had the LA Raiders starter, cap to go with it. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, it was the Patrick Ewings, the Charles Barkleys, Allen Iverson wasn't out at that time. You know what I'm saying? It was the Jordans, of course. And whatever the trend or the fashion was, that's what I ran with it. The only reason why I wasn't wearing Jordans, because I'm not gonna lie, I just couldn't afford them. That plain and simple. And then came the Timberlands a little later. And I wore those. Of course, Timberlands is way more expensive than Jordans, but at that point in time, I had, started working. I got a job and, I was able to buy my own clothes. Air Force Ones, the list goes on, Air Maxes, all of that. All of the retro throwback sneakers that you see in this day and time is what we wore first. I ain't had no mind of my own. My peers taught me how to be a young man. You know what I'm saying? That's who taught me. That's who groomed me. When I had family that told me, hey, in order to be successful in life, you got to go to school. They ain't tell me why. It just said everybody that's successful go to college. Then after that, you get a job. I had a elder, which was my grandmother's husband, tell me one day, he sat down with me and said, hey, listen, man, if you start working now, you work about 20, 30, 40 years of your life, and then you can retire. And I looked at him, I had to be like 16 years old, man. I looked at him and I was like, damn, this is what life is about? This is what life is about. You know, and I questioned it and I said to myself, man, I ain't no way in hell I could live this life. But this was what all I was seeing. Nothing but a bunch of goddamn robots that followed the same type of regimen. I don't know what to call it. You know, the same type of lifestyle that their father's father followed. I wasn't taught about anything about stocks and bonds or Wall Street, investing, none of that. Nobody taught me about money. Well, they did. They taught me how to spend it and how to save it. That's one thing that black people will do. They'll spend money and save it, but they'll never invest. They'll never take they'll never gamble on themselves. They'll never invest in something that can make them more money. They'll never invest in themselves because they don't have faith and belief in themselves. But every Sunday, they have faith and belief in someone that they can't see. This is what I was taught in my household. And it wasn't until I got out of the house and I went to college and I started to broaden my horizons mentally is when I decided that I wanted to have a mind of my own. Now, true indeed, for those that are, familiar with my channel, you all know I was part of the cult, part of a cult and all the rest of that stuff. So there were times after I molded and found myself that, yes, I did, walk away from myself. I did. I'm not going to lie. Especially when I was part of that cult. But ultimately, it was still a journey within, regardless of whether I was in a cult or going here or going there. And at the end of the day, I'm glad to say that I've definitely found myself, and I definitely think outside of the box, and I would never let anyone think for me ever again. I would never allow anyone to control my life ever again, no matter if it's my mother, my father, my children. No one. And this is what America doesn't want you to do. Have a mind for yourself. There's nothing complicated about this whole thinking out the box, thinking outside of the matrix shit. It's not. It's all about just loving yourself, being in control of your life, and making decisions, especially when it's very important decisions. Making sound, right decisions when it comes to your life. That plain and simple. And throughout my life, I've made a lot of decisions that cost me some time. And if I had it all to do again, I'll do the same thing again because I learned from my mistakes. Only a fool makes mistakes and don't learn from it. A smart man, a wise man makes mistakes and learns from them. But the real reality of it is a smart man learns from others that make mistakes, and they learn from other people's mistakes so they won't be able to make them. But yeah, I made mistakes, man, and I don't regret it. I don't. But what I will say is this. I lost a lot of time. I wish that I could replace that time that I lost with money. Because, see, you can get money back. It's not a problem. I can lose $200,000. I can lose $200. I can lose $2,000. I can lose $2. At the end of the day, I can get that back, but I can never get back the time that I lost. And that's the point that I'm trying to make to you all. This is your peers talking to you. This is your equal talking to you. I am not a preacher. I'm not a teacher. I am not greater than you. We are one and the same. But yeah, man, I wish I could get that time back. But I know the reality of it is I can't. And this is the reason why we have to continue for those that do. And for those that don't, you're going to have to start to think outside of the box. Yes, people are going to call you a weirdo, and you're going to lose a lot of friends and family members. They're going to say that there's something wrong with you when you walk away from Christianity, if that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? They're going to say there's something wrong with you when you walk away from your job, if that's your choice and become an entrepreneur. They're going to say there's something wrong with you when you say, listen, I'm tired of living in this city, in this state, and I'm ready to move. They're going to think something's wrong with you, and you move somewhere else. They're going to call you the crazy one, the loony in the family. But the reality of it is that you definitely found yourself, and you're more sound than they are. And at the end of the day, man, this life that we have is really, really short. Like I thought about that shit. Like for real, let's say for example, if I live to be 100 years old, right? That's nothing but 100 times that the earth has rotated around the sun. Revolved around the sun. That's it, 100 times. So life is really, really short. I just don't understand why people, I'm not trying to get on you all that live that way. If you live that way, to each his own. But at the end of the day, I just don't understand how someone can live in one place for over 50 years and be cool about it. You want me to tell you the reason why Big Mama lived in that house for all those years? It's because she was scared. That's why. And that she didn't have the same opportunities that we have right now. She didn't have the internet. It wasn't a way where she could make money in her sleep. So back then, in those days, the only way that they could make money is what they did, from sun up to sundown, and that was it. Wasn't much money. And most of our grandmothers or great grandmothers worked. But in 2022, I can tell you, man, I started making money online in 2005 and 2006. I had my own website in 2006. I was selling my books online in 2006. I've sold some of everything online. I've sold detoxes. I've sold oils. I've sold incense. I've sold my books. I've sold dry foods like legumes, lentils, green lentils, yellow lentils, red lentils. I've sold quinoa, wild rice, beans, black beans, red beans, navy beans. I've done it all. I've sold it all. I've sold sneakers online on eBay. I had to hook up. That's a different story. Totally legal. I had to hook up with at one point in time I had to hook up with Target gift cards. When I walked away from the cult, I had a bunch of books, that Dr. York wrote. Well, Dwight York, that's his name. He's not a doctor. He wrote, and there's still several, followers of his. Excuse me, I put those books up and sold them on eBay. I've sold some of everything online. And my point in making is that they didn't have that back then. If Big Mama had the internet and she could hook her shit up, her bank account and all that shit up to PayPal and eBay and all the rest of that shit, she would be doing the same shit that we're doing right now. So let me tell you something. There are no excuses, man. If you have an idea, put it out there and bet on yourself. Back yourself with that little bit of change you got in the bank. Not all of it, but just a little bit. And if you fail, listen, at the end of the day, you can at least say that you did something different, that you thought outside the box. I have people that DM me all the time, and they're like, yo, how are the jobs in Charlotte? And I've done like two, three videos on the jobs in Charlotte. And I can tell you, every 2 or 3, I think it's 3. Out of all 3 of those videos, I've always said, yes, you know what I'm saying? You need to look for a job, this and that, so forth, but never put all your eggs in one basket. That at the end of the day, you should definitely have a side job. Just in case that main job fires you, lets you go. Yeah, you can file for unemployment, but unemployment ain't paying you 100% of what you were making at that job. You know that to be a fact. But this is what it's all about. Thinking outside the matrix. Thinking outside the box. Not having to worry about what Joe Biden is, what law he passing, or what he doing, and what the House of Representatives and the Senate or overall Congress is doing on Capitol Hill. No, fuck all of that shit. You worry about what you doing in your house. And I do know that, certain bills that are passed do affect you. I understand that. But for the most part, you are definitely in control of the majority of your life. You are. And if you die, leaving nothing behind for your children, and if you die not accomplishing any type of goals, that's on you, not me. This is a new day and time that we live in. And being that it's a new day and time that we live in, then we got to start thinking in a different way. And that's outside of the box. I hear all of these people talk about the New World Order. Well, the New World Order is here. Okay, well, I tell you what, this is how we go up against the New World Order. We have a new attitude, a new way of thought, and that'll cancel out the New World Order, straight up. Because America can't do without the people. The reality of it is that the people rule, not a small amount of people or a small group of people. We are allowing the United States of America to have one president and a certain amount of senators and numbers of senators and the House of Representatives, a certain amount of numbers of them. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 235 senators, something like that, and 435. I don't know. Man, I took civics class a long time ago. But we allow them to do what they do to us. So yeah, man, you got to think outside the box, man, especially when it comes to politics. Straight up. They keep on making all these promises and shit, and they don't ever keep their promise that they make, especially when it comes to the black community. And I'm talking about the politicians, that is. The politicians. Crazy. But yeah, man, I just wanted to say this, touch on this. I think I touched on it a little bit, in the last video, as far as coming out of your comfort zone and thinking out of the box. I just wanted to do a separate video, about this topic, which is, thinking outside the box. People that think that way are not crazy, man. They're totally sane. And for those that don't think that way, man, I don't know what to tell you. I wouldn't want to be in your situation. Because when you don't think outside the box and you take and you trust in everything that your government says and does, I'll say this. For an example, you trust everything that your government says and does. You know what I'm saying? I'll say this. Expect another booster shot. Oh, man, y'all ain't gonna be happy until you grow a dick on your damn forehead, yo. I ain't got none of them shits. I'd rather just take the L. Yo, I'm not lying. This is my word. I've gotten sick more. Yo, I've never gotten sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as I've gotten sick this past year. And I'm more than sure that I caught stupid. I know it. I ain't gonna say I know it because I never took a test, but I'm more than sure. Matter of fact, one of my sons goes to this class, right? And he had to be what do they call it? What do you call it? What you call it? 10 days he had to be away from the class because one of the students had, and he interacted with one of them. Quarantine. So my son had to be quarantined for 10 days. Twice on 2 occasions. Now taking heat. I can't quarantine my son. He's too young. So I'm more than sure that he gave it to all of us. Ain't shit happened to us yet. We got over it. If I say if. You know what I'm saying? If it was that. I want to say, the word, but the 19 thing. So yeah, man, believe in yourself. Step outside your comfort zone and definitely think outside of the box. Other than that, my name is Langston 2092. I want you to like, comment, subscribe, definitely share this video.